Whether you keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast.
Is going on, everybody? This is Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm creeping it real.
Hey, what's going on, dude? How goes it?
Dude, it has been an adventure since the last time that I talked to you.
I'm here for adventure, man.
Dude, I've been out herping a bunch. I have got some little bit of stuff going on in the collection. I have just been like trying to pace myself because I know that we're in the end of February now. If you're listening to this in the future, it's the end of February 2024. Ooh. and I know that for me, field herping, April and May are the most productive months for me. I just see the most things out and about and moving in April and May. And so I'm like pacing myself right now because I know that when April and May come, I'm not going to want to sleep. I'm just going to want to herp all the time. And
you just see like on the porch, there's just various headlamps on chargers.
Yes. Oh, I've already got 4 headlamps, and I really want to get one of those ones that's like the bar that goes across your forehead, and you like wave your hand to turn it on. Dude, I need one of those. Gotta give me one of those. Those things are
field herping to the extreme.
Yeah, buddy. How things been going with you, man?
Though. Dude, things have been really good. I'm getting settled in the new place we were just talking about. So this room is pretty blank, but there's some stuff that will slowly be making its way onto this wall. So this backdrop will be cool. But yeah, so that's been keeping me very busy, getting stuff up here, still taking care of animals. Amazon's out the wazoo right now, which I'm so stoked about. I have 4 girls that are developing follicles. So we're gonna start pairing some stuff, which is right around like the exact same time that things were cycling last year. So I'm super excited. So hopefully I get a couple more girls that start to build in the next couple of weeks, because I've got probably 6 that are like ready this year, like can breed, and I'm like, let's go for 6.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited for that. A couple ball python things that are going, and then we'll have some cool colubrid stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We were talking about field herping. I did my field herping came to me moment. For those who follow me on Instagram, I posted a story of a spotted salamander in the walkway going to the elevator in the new building. And
jealous.
I was like, it's a lot easier when you go field herping and the herps come to you. So
yeah.
I did appreciate that, but we can already hear, if I stepped outside, you could hear all the frogs and everything, which is awesome. I really do enjoy that. So yeah, man, just staying busy. I've been breeding in some leopard gecko stuff too, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, just great fun that has me like feeling a little hectic and chaotic, but I guess that's pretty normal for me. So
yeah.
Rob's like, where are you now? I don't even know where I am. It's fine.
The more that you feel like you know where you are, that's when you truly have no idea, honestly.
This is quite true. I always laugh because like every selfie Sunday, I'm like, well, I'm in the car. I see your post and I'm like, I'm driving. I don't even know where the hell I am right now. So it's either here's a picture from me at the gig yesterday, or here's a picture of me on the road.
That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to just be, hey, I want you to take a picture like a boomer. I want you to put the phone like directly below your face and then just like as close as you can get, and then just take a picture. Yeah, like that.
Deal.
Basically.
Deal. It'll either be that or it'll like just be my forehead up. Like I'm just
No.
oh gosh. Yeah. But yeah, exciting things, fun times. If you are, even if you're listening to this in the future, this episode will actually go up not this week but next week. The members of the Carolina Herpetological Society have our first meeting on the 23rd down at the Serpent Center with our buddy Willie, and I'm super stoked about that. That's going to be a great time. I've been wanting to see that place since he started talking about opening it. It's gonna be a blast. So I'm pretty stoked for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when I talked to Willie about it, he's like, "Yeah, when you posted that little teaser about it, our phones have been ringing off the hook, asking questions, and like people wanted to come and check it out." And I was like, "That's just a little bit of social media push, and people are interested. They want to learn. Venomous snakes have such an allure and such a draw, even to people who are not as deep into reptiles as we are." And getting the opportunity to just share that with people is always just very cool.
Heck yeah. And Willie is definitely like one of the pros, and has such an amazing collection of animals, like setting that space up for public tours and educational events and stuff like that. I mean, like that's a gold mine, not just money wise, but education wise. Like what kind of a resource that is. I mean, like that's huge. So I'm stoked to see it. Like if you follow him on Instagram, you see the craziness that he has on there. Bushmasters and all of that amazingness. I'm just stoked. I cannot wait to go down there and check it all out. So heck yeah, man. I'm super stoked.
Check them out on Instagram, Venom Central and Serpent Center. They are doing some really cool stuff. And not to go too far into the episode without mentioning your shirt.
Oh,
and
that's
our
right.
Sponsor for this evening.
Right.
We're sponsored by the wonderful and magnificent Black Box Cages.
Hey. Heck yeah.
Make sure that you check them out.
Black Box.
Yeah, if you're looking for a rack or an enclosure for your pet reptile or invert or amphibian, make sure that you check out Black Box Cages. Top quality racks and cages. And, one of the quickest turnaround times in the game. You will get your enclosure when you need it and not 2 years later.
Not when it's already outgrown it.
Yeah, not when your snake is outgrown its enclosure.
That's right. And if you use code Reptile Talk at checkout, you can save a little bit of money on your order. So go on and get yourself a new cage or rack.
I'm just saying it's tax season, and if you are somebody who's getting tax returns back, I know a lot of people this year are like, I didn't really get a tax return back. But if you do get one, maybe it's time to upgrade some enclosures. I'm looking at enclosures like, oh man, I'm going to very quickly need some more 3-foot and 4-foot enclosures because I have some scrubs that are growing and not enough place to put them.
Not enough cages, dude. Not enough cages.
I was like, I got plenty of room. I just don't have enough cages. So
right. Exactly.
Bruh.
Heck yeah, man. No, but yeah, check out Black Box for sure. Just put black boxes everywhere in your house. Like why not? Even in your kitchen.
Instead of cabinets, you should.
Instead of cabinets,
sliding like doors,
That's
so you can see into them. You got shelves; they can put shelves in them. You could have heated dishes, so you can have nice warm plates when you're plating your food for your. Why put your food on a cold plate when you can have a radiant heat panel in a black box cage in your kitchen and pull it out from the shelf and have a nice hot plate to put your meal on? I'm just saying.
Oh boy. Yeah, you could do that.
I could.
If you want to be one of those people, go for it. It's like, here's your hot food on a warm plate, and it's not warm from the food; it's warm from the cage.
I feel like this needs to be a marketing campaign.
It could be. It very well could be. Oh man, huge shout out to everybody that's already here in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging. Feel free. Today's pretty loosey goosey as far as what we're doing. We're just kind of talking about random stuff we've got going on, stuff we've seen in the industry, maybe some trends we've seen popping up. And if you guys have questions for stuff, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll highlight them and answer them and just chat with you guys. And of course, feel free to share this video, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Send it to somebody, tell them to come check it out. Preferably, if they like reptiles. If they don't like reptiles and they might get freaked out by like Rob's background, then
Yeah.
I mean, maybe share it anyway. Maybe you don't like that person and you want them to throw their phone at a wall. Who knows? I don't know.
Bro.
Oh gosh.
So did you see the video of the water snake that I posted the other day?
Yes.
Bro.
Absolutely. So Rob is out here dispelling Nerodia myths.
I don't know. No, hold on. That is too strong of a statement to put out there for a cold water snake on a 58-degree day.
Okay, that is a good point. That it is still February.
It is still February. But I did find my February snake. So I've got my January snakes and I've got my February snakes. After that, it should be pretty easy until we get back to November, December.
Right.
And for the people who are not informed, I try and find a snake every month of the year.
It's true.
I did it last year.
So Rob basically showcased a different way of field herping.
Yes.
Instead of running up on a snake and like making it this hectic, crazy scene, he just slowly approached this water snake and just kind of presented its hand to it, and the animal didn't even move.
No, I think it was sleeping when I first got up to it, honestly.
Which is still impressive because I mean, certainly you have stealthy feet, but
not like
that. You're also not the weight of a feather. So
no. Especially since I moved down here.
That barbecue.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so it was really interesting because I think most of us that know water snakes know them as this incredibly reactive, like if you don't grab it, it's gone kind of snake.
Yeah, or it's gonna bite you.
Right, exactly. And granted, cooler day, not necessarily getting super warmed up by the sun, but still able to gain some body heat. And you just presented yourself to this animal, and it was pretty much chill to the point where you're petting it under the chin, and you get those initial tongue flicks, and it still didn't even lose its mind.
Yeah.
That was impressive, dude.
I took like 2, maybe 3 videos of me doing that because the one that I posted on the whole video is on TikTok, but on Instagram it cut it down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, so I didn't get the whole thing in there. But the one I posted on TikTok, you could see I'm like maybe 8 or 10 feet away when I start recording, and then this snake was below the trail that I was hiking. And so I spotted it from above there, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and go down there. And this is one of the things that I was talking about for, I don't know, it was the first episode or like the first episode of this year or the last episode of last year, talking about my goals for this year and things that I want to do when it comes to reptiles. And one of the things that I wanted to do is to explore different ways that we interact with animals and the ways that they respond to our interactions with them. And so this was one of the things that I have had in my mind. I'm like, maybe if I just go up to snakes out in the wild and instead of like running up and grabbing them and making a big commotion about it, if I go up and just try to gently interact with them, see how they respond. And, there's certain species where I am assuming that it's just not going to work, like black racers. They generally don't let you get close to them, or they wait until you step over them until they like panic and then run. So like those are ones where I don't feel like I will be able to make a whole lot of headway. I'll have to, restrain them in some sort of way before I do any sort of interaction with them. But with other species, I'm thinking that if I have gentle interactions with them, I'll be able to take lots of liberties that when was the last time you saw somebody pet a water snake underneath their chin?
Right. Yeah, a wild water snake.
A wild water snake, exactly. It's so like I started recording several feet away, and I was like, I'm gonna do this uncut. Like I'm just gonna record and see what happens because I don't know what's gonna happen. And so I
Right.
walk over to it, flip the camera around, and I put my hand out next to it within a couple inches of it, and it didn't move. And I was like, oh, it's probably asleep. Right now it's not because usually water snakes, they'll start flicking their tongues a whole bunch and really like looking at you and flattening out and you know doing all the things. And it was like
Right.
58 degrees that day, so it wasn't warm. So
Yeah.
I just kind of like put my hand there for a few seconds, and it didn't really move. And so I went and like touched just underneath his chin, and it flicked its tongue just a little bit, taking in a little bit of information, but it didn't move. It didn't move at all.
Mm.
And so I just kept rubbing it for, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, just rubbing up underneath his chin. And it flicked its tongue a few more times, but literally did not move a muscle beyond that. It just flicked its tongue. It didn't flatten out. It didn't move. It didn't run away. It just
That's
sat
impressive.
there. I was like, what is going on right now, man? It's like all the things that I know about water snakes. I'm like, what is going on right now? And granted, it's cold. It's February. It was not a particularly sunny day. It was very overcast that day. So I've got all these things working to, of course, it's going to have a slower reaction time. It's not going to be as reactive. It's going to reserve its energy for if it really needs it. But it was still just super laid back. It didn't musk. It just let me pet it right underneath its chin. It didn't even move its head. Like I would expect, like if it was annoyed, that it would at least like move its head in the opposite direction.
Like,
Yeah, but no, it literally just sat there, flicked its tongue a few times. I recorded, like I said, the 2 or 3 videos of me just sitting there, just with it. And then after that, I just walked away. I didn't pick it up. I didn't touch it. Like I didn't touch the top of it. I didn't touch its tail. I didn't touch any of the rest of the part of its body. I literally just rubbed it right underneath the chin a couple times and then just went about my day.
That's nuts, dude.
And maybe that the next time that snake sees a person, maybe it'll not feel as negatively about them. Who knows?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
they're not you. It's not you, dude.
True.
There's a level of understanding. Like, no, this guy, he gets me.
He's okay. The vibes are there, the vibes are there.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting scaly vibes from this one. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
I think he's one of us. I think he's creeping a reel right now, bro.
There he is. Oh man. Okay. I saw a couple comments in the chat. Let's see. Sean asked how many Amazons I'm up to right now. I don't know if I'm comfortable discussing this number. Okay, well, let's see. 28, maybe like 38 or 39. I think that's what I'm up to right now.
Jeez.
But to be fair, I'm downsizing on other things.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm just like amassing more and more and more into the abyss of snakedom like I have done in the past. No, I want to say it's probably like 38 or 39 right now.
That's a comfortable number.
Yeah, sure.
It's not 39 colubrids that poop 3 times a week.
I do have 40 colubrids that are doing.
Okay, never mind. I take it back.
But so I mean, like I went from, let's see, before I really started the downsize, I was probably at like 170 ball pythons, and now I'm down to maybe 60. And I'm trying to get that number even smaller. I'm actually trying to get down to about 2 dozen. There's really specific stuff. Like I'm producing like some triple het true ghost clown stuff this year. So like hold back that kind of stuff. Doing some DG clown stuff hopefully this year. So just like random stuff that I just enjoy, but I'm not chasing the rabbit hole of ball pythons. I can go on that tangent in a moment, but downsizing on that, I've downsized significantly on Morelia, and let's see what else. I've also downsized on bloods and the short tail stuff too, and still need to keep doing that for the sake of space. But yeah, there's a lot of Amazons, man. There's a whole lot. And the potential to have at least 3, maybe up to 6 litters this year, 3 or 4, possibly up to 6 litters this year. Including some leopard and maybe some tiger het leopard stuff. So there's gonna be some holdbacks, Rob.
I love leopard Amazons, bro. I think that's like one of the most underrated
Dude.
Amazons, honestly.
You got to come to the house, Rob. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of leopard Amazons right now.
I love leopards, bro. I wish that there were more of them around because they're just so freaking cool.
It's been interesting like looking at them, because now, you know, with the number that I have now, like I've got a couple from Ryan that are like dark, like very, very dark, and then there's a couple that are like quite bright in color. And some of them like are also like around the same size and age already. So I'm just like, man, what is this? Just natural variation within the gene, or is this something that we can like isolate lineage wise, like where you get darker leopards or lighter leopards, or is it just kind of like a random one-off kind of thing, like you get what you get? So that's definitely gotten my brain working about that gene, and I'm intrigued, to say the least. But I'm just about at capacity for Amazons right now. For now.
Really?
For now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to dial myself in between 40 and 50 was kind of like the sweet spot where I wanted to be. And the only way that changes is if I get anything, you know, out of the blue. That changes things up, which could happen, you know. And and then maybe it's 100 Amazons, and who knows?
100, 200. Is there really a difference?
500?
500 Amazons?
But yeah, so I'm but barring that, you know, I'm pretty much kind of where I want to be. Really the only other things that I'm looking for are like true bicolors, like really clean bicolors, and bicolor tiger stuff. Like there's something about a true bicolor tiger, just those Fruit Loop stripes down the back. I'm just like, oh, I need that. Like, so I'm kind of geeking about the potential for finding one of those at some point. And also, you remember that crazy yellow calico thing that I had like posted pictures of and was like, hey, who where did this
who ended up with that? Yep.
So I found out who ended up with it, and I don't know if they want their name said publicly, so I won't say it publicly.
No.
But I found out who got it, and
I'm listening.
It's not available, unfortunately, but
that's okay.
I'm just happy to know where it is, and that it will be potentially breeding this year. And I'm like, I need babies,
bro. Wait, did he send you pictures of its face, of its eyes?
No.
Please.
I should have asked. I didn't ask.
Please.
I'm gonna send him a message. Yeah, I'm gonna send him a message.
I need to see pictures of that thing's eyes.
That. Yeah, I'll have to send him a message about that. But yeah, I was like, I'm just happy to know where that animal is, and
that you were able to contact them.
Yes. So the funny thing is, they reached out to me. I made a comment on one of their posts, so they had a pretty nice litter of Amazons, and I had commented on it.
They breed them?
Yeah, just like one off kind of.
Oh,
thing.
I thought that the shop said that the dude just kept them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I think maybe just like he has like a couple, and he just like threw them together or something.
Okay.
But because this, if I remember correctly from the conversation, this was like his first litter that he had.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but he's like, I have this animal. Like, I definitely do want to try to breed him and whatever. And I was like, well, you let me know.
Mhm.
Because I was like, that was an animal that I was so pissed that I missed.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but it's cool to know where that it's ended up somewhere, and that it's not just vanished into the ether of keeperdom, and that there's something that's going to happen with it. So that has me excited. There, I've already answered the ending question right then and there. But yeah, so Amazon insanity is happening. And that's really what my primary focus is going to become. I think pretty much everybody who follows me on Instagram has kind of seen that recently. Just like I'm downsizing, just trying to sell as much other things as possible, other species as possible, to really just make space. And I'll be pushing some of that more in the coming weeks, especially now that shipping weather is kind of be coming back to get things up north, because that's been a huge hindrance. So now that window's opening up, I can try to push a few things up there and go from there. But yeah, I'm excited about Amazon's, to say the least. I'm so excited. How are things in Scrubland?
They are good. Actually, one of my friends, I think he's in Pennsylvania. He just reached out to me, and he had offered me a pair of Southern Scrubs a year or two ago, and I was like, I just don't have the space for them right now. And he's like, well, I kind of want them to go to you, and if we got to figure something out. And I'm like, and then he reached out to me again, like maybe a year ago, and he was like, my wife kind of wants me to keep him, so I think I'm going to keep him for now. I was like, that's fine, no big deal. And then he just reached out to me again, and he's like, hey, you want these scrubs? And I was like,
oh god.
I was like, I don't really have the cages for them right now, but if I happen to come across some enclosures, then maybe I'll take them.
Right. What a roller coaster that is.
Yeah, and he's like, he would know where they're going, and he know that I'm gonna work with them, and he's like, the female she's a dick, and I was like, that's okay, that's we can work on a relationship later,
right. It's par for the course of Scrub.
Yeah. The female Southern that I've got right now, I got her when she was really, really small, and she was horrendous until the last 6 months. I'm not even kidding, bro. Until the last 6 months, because when I moved here, I was just like, set her up in a bigger enclosure so she sees me all the time, moving around, doing things. Yeah. And then, the last couple months, I've been doing periodic handling with her. And she still will like pee when I go to take her out, but she doesn't just come straight for my face anymore, which I appreciate.
Yep, that's a good thing.
And for the most part, when I have her out, she's pretty smooth and concise. She just kind of does her thing, and as long as I don't get too close to her face, and she's really good. So I'm considering taking those in, because like Southerns have not been a huge focus of mine. There's already not a lot, but there's already people who are breeding Southerns, and they're fairly well established as captive scrubs in the hobby. So they're not one that I had a main focus on, and my heart is really with the Barnecks. The contrast on them is just, it tingles my brain in the right way. So it's just been more my focus to be on the Barneck side of things. But so I might end up with those. It really depends if I find enclosures. I periodically look on Marketplace and Craigslist and stuff to see if I can find, snag a 3 or 4 foot enclosure. But there's such high demand right now. It's like,
that's true. Yeah, I had so I will do the same thing from time to time if it's just like, if I can get my hands on something at a decent price, because I've got, while I'm downsizing on the Morelia, like I'll keep like my albino carpets and like a couple of random things like that, the ocelots and stuff. So I want to have cages for them. So periodically I'm just like, hey, if I can find one for really cheap that's local, I'll grab it, and whatever. And so I found somebody on Marketplace that had some 4x2x2s, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll check them out. And it's probably like maybe 30 minutes away from me. So I was like, okay, not too bad. And I was like, the picture showed maybe like 5 or 6 enclosures, but the way the ad was worded, it sounded like maybe there's only like one left.
Yeah.
So I sent them a message and asked about them, and I was like, are they still available, hoping that there would be multiple, and then I could get a number, and it was just like, yes. And I was like, how many are left by chance? And I have a lot was the answer. And I'm just like, a number, hit me with a number. Like I'm willing to pay for a lot if you have a lot at a good price.
At a good price,
and, and he's like, well, I have quite a few. And I'm like, a number would be great.
A lot. So do you have 4 of them or do you have 36 of them? Because that's a different number. Because if you have a room full of 4x2x2s, that's very different than a stack of 2x2x2 or 4x2.
Literally, I'm like, you don't know who I am. You don't know what I'm really asking. I'm literally asking if you have enough for a room. Like, so he was like, well, you just tell me how many you're looking for, and I'll tell you if I have that many. And I was like, 5. I was like, do you have 5? And he was like, yes. I was like, 8. How about 8? And it's like, yes. I was like, 15. Do you have 15? No, I don't have 15. 12.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere now.
Yeah, right. I'm like, okay, I'm playing guess the freaking number. Anyway, the dude was like so bad with communication. It like nothing. I didn't get anything. Like, it was just so bad. And I find like I was losing my mind. Like every just one word answer or like half of a sentence. I'm like, dude, I've asked you the most specific thing. Do you have this cage? Do you have multiple available? How many do you have available? I'm coming to you to pick them up. If you have X number of them, I will do that. And I have a few. I have some. I have some things. I have cages. Like, number.
Number, price. God. Number, price.
Literally,
that's all I need.
Dude. Literally, bro. And I was like, and eventually I was like, delete message thread. I'm like, this is not worth my blood pressure skyrocketing for some 4-foot cages.
Yeah, especially because he's gonna tell you and it's gonna be retail.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, no. I can't do this.
Yeah.
No. Just no. That's why you go to Black Box and you just get your cage.
Save yourself a headache, for real.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes you find a good deal. Other times you find some.
Yeah. Sometimes you go to Black Box instead. And that's what you should just do in the first place.
It's 100% true. It's 100% true. It's what I get for trying to buy local. Oh man, dude. Freaking insane. Have you seen anything online that has got you?
Dude, yes. Mike Clarkson produced Acrocordus granulatus, which are these small file snakes, and he produced, I think he said it was his 3rd litter of them, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. I don't talk about Acrocordus very much, and I it's just like not something that comes up in conversation when I'm talking about reptiles, but man, I love file snakes. They are so cool, and I have loved them for like over a decade. And I just like am so fascinated by them, but there's just not a lot of information out there by them. There's not a lot of people that are breeding them. You know, we had Revision Reptiles.
Oh yes, yeah.
Talking about the large ones, the elephant trunk snakes.
Yeah.
But Mike Clarkson is breeding the small file snakes. There's small elephant trunk snakes. They look like a sea snake, bro. They are so cool.
When I saw Mike post that picture, I was like, "Oh my god, sea snakes!" Because I was just scrolling so fast, and I was like, "Oh,
that's a whole stack of sea snakes." Oh, it's not sea
right,
snakes,
right, exactly. Look at this death pile. Oh no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Not that bad. Yeah.
Oh
So
god.
that's been really cool. I saw that recently, and I was really geeked up about that. I was just on an episode of Reptile Fight Club. I don't think it's come out yet as of the time of this recording, but Rob Stone reached out to me. Oh, Bobby Pebbles, Rob Rock. He was he was he
I was like, what?
Bobby Pebbles. You gotta listen to the Herpetoculture Network. That's what they call him. Old Bobby Pebbles. Rob Stone. He reached out and asked me if I'd be on be on an episode, and
That's
he pitched an idea
genius.
to me, and it was something that I was all about. So I got invited to go on, and I've been listening to Reptile Fight Club podcast since it started, and I have wanted to go on since then. Apparently, Justin Julander messaged me on Facebook a long time ago asking me if I would come on, but I don't really read Facebook messages like that. So I didn't know. And then talking to Rob Stone, yeah. So I went on there recently and did that. So be on the lookout if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you listen to this podcast. I'm sure that podcast will also be up there. We're talking about whether we have a duty to be educational when it comes to our reptile content that we post, or whether or not something can just be entertaining or just be sharing and things like that. So it was an interesting conversation. I picked the side of I think that things can just be for entertainment purposes, which for me is the harder side to fight because I don't actually believe that. I think that we should try to be educational, but
Right.
when I listen to Fight Club, I like to hear people have like really differing opinions and make their
The fight,
points and
dude.
stuff.
The fight.
Yeah. Because like I love their podcast, but some of the episodes it's like a half-hearted fight. They're like, no, I agree with you. It's like we kind of all know that this is the right answer, but like
Mhm.
we're pussyfooting around it. But for me, I feel like if you fully understand a concept
Mhm.
like really well, if you really understand something, you should be able to argue against it too, to
Yeah.
know what the weaknesses are, what the points that the other side could make. Because at the end of the day, you can feel really strongly about something, but if you are not able to see the yin and the yang, if you can't see how this thing is good, but is also something that could be perceived as bad or not beneficial.
Right.
If you can't see one side or the other, then you are not doing yourself a service to fully understand the topic. So I like it when there's like a real fight. I like it when there's differing opinion. And for me, the entertainment side is a little bit harder to fight for me because I'm like, oh man, some of these ding dongs are just going out there and getting stung by tarantula hawks for views, man. And it's like they're like, oh, we're educational, and I'm like, I don't know, man. They just want to see you get hurt.
Yeah,
They just
right,
want
right,
you.
exactly.
They're hoping
Yeah.
you die.
Sad but true.
So
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword of the
yeah,
entertainment aspect for
yes,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm excited to hear that because when we had talked about that briefly before in a previous conversation, and I was like, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you. I don't think everything needs to be 100% educational, but how we go about what we're putting out,
Educating. Mhm.
yeah, does matter. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm with you on that for sure.
Yeah. It was a good episode. I ended up fighting Justin Julander, which was an honor. The doctor, the more complete carpet python guru, and then be on there with Rob Stone too. I have like the utmost respect for Rob Stone, and that dude is. I wish I could have a quarter the amount of the knowledge that guy has because he blows my mind. At Carpet Fest, I just wanted to listen to him talk the whole time.
Heck yeah,
He's got
dude.
so much. So yeah, that was cool, and so that was exciting. Be on that podcast, and then I got a couple Borneos I think that have already ovulated, and one of them had her prelay shed already, so I should have some Borneo eggs on the ground here shortly.
Hey.
And I got one pair that's still locking up, and then another pair that I don't think they're going to do anything. So, and then my male scrubs are just starting to get all wiggly and excited. I can tell when the females are starting to cycle because the male Highland in the middle of the day, he will just be sitting there going up and down the glass at the front of the enclosure,
Really?
and just
Yeah, that's the tell.
trying to get to them. And he doesn't do it at all throughout the rest of the year. Like during the daytime, he is sleeping. Every now and then you'll see him moving around, but he's not at the door. And then as soon as the females start to give off those pheromones, he is like right at the door, push in, ready. And last year he like he didn't make like a big cut or anything, but he did like push up the scale on the end of his nose, and I was like, dude, you gotta fucking cut that shit out. So what I've been trying to do is when I see him doing that, I'll open up the door and just like walk to the other side of the room and let him just like smell the outside of the enclosures and go over. And that's when I could tell like which female cycling, because he'll go down to one enclosure and he'll smell it a little bit and he's like, oh no, not this one. And then he goes to the other one, he's like, oh, I'm gonna spend 45 minutes here, I'm just gonna lick the whole outside of this enclosure right now. And I'm like, oh,
so what I hear is you're cheating, Rob.
I am I'm actually not talented at breeding things. They do all the work and I am just the lackey,
Imagine that. All we do is put snakes into cages together. Huh.
I heard someone or I saw in one of the groups that somebody was trying to breed a scrub to a retic or a scrub to a berm, and I was like, why would you? What are you doing?
No. Just
Yeah.
no.
I was like, breeding it to a berm is like, okay, you got a really smart scrub, you got a really dumb berm, you're going to end up with something with average intelligence. You're going to breed a scrub to a retic. So you're going to breed something that's really strong and smart and arboreal with something that's got so much muscle. And when they feel like there's food around, something's going to become food.
Yeah, right.
That is a recipe for disaster. That is just going to be the worst snake to deal with, because it is going to see you as food. And retics do not currently do that. Like, they don't really look at people as food. But if you had a retic with a scrub mind, that is scary.
Everything's food. Literally everything's food.
And if it's not food, it could be food.
If it's not food, I'm going to try to see if it will
hook. Yeah.
I think we've both witnessed retics break tubs that they accidentally bite and constrict. So.
Yep. I was talking to Kristen about that recently, because that the Highland scrub male, and he's got to be 11 or 12 feet long right now, but I opened up the enclosure to like let him come out and smell the other enclosures and everything, and he like cocked back and was like, oh, here it comes. And I was like, I just stepped back and I was like, you're not gonna bite me, bro. I know where your strike radius is right now. So I stepped like kind of up to where the strike radius was, and I was like, Kristen, he could strike to like right about here, and he struck to right about there, and I was like, that's all he's got in him right now.
That's all it is.
Then you see the back end start to come up a little bit. I was like, okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
In a strike radius.
Yeah, exactly. And so I used the hook and I started scooting him, and he turned and he's like, what are you doing? But he didn't bite it because he knows that it's just a snake hook. Whereas you touch a retic and they're like, I got it. I got the thing.
Bro, that big platinum marble that I have, that is his MO every single season. That's how I know somebody's got follicles. Same thing. It's just he is just cruising, whatever. And yeah, as soon as you open that enclosure, if you touch him, snake hook, roll of paper towels, hose, it doesn't matter. Water, it doesn't matter. If it touches him when he's in that mode, it's now gonna go inside his belly. And it's like, no, bro, like it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Let's talk this out. Here's a rat. Now shut up. I know you're still going to be hungry after that. It's oh gosh, dude. But that's cool. That's cool that you have an animal that goes through that behavior pattern every season for the cycle, so that it gives you that heads up, but also like that which we've talked about multiple times on this podcast, like that goes to really just understanding your animals and knowing your animals and what to be looking for, because the average person might just be like, oh yeah, today he's just in an excited mood, or he's cruising around for some reason. It's like, no,
Maybe he's hungry.
Maybe, yeah, right, exactly. And you're like, nah, well, the way Mercury is in retrograde right now, I think he might just want to breed. I don't know. It's just a thought,
For real. And I talked to Stephen Cush a bunch about this because we were talking about our breeding seasons and like little things that we look out for. And he was like, my males do not do that at all.
Really?
They don't do that at all. And he's like, he palpates stuff and does things. And we're going to talk to him about scrubs and have a scrub episode.
Yes,
so I
can't wait for that.
Take away from any of this. But I was talking to him and I was like, yeah, my male Highland, as soon as the females start to give any sort of pheromones for cycling, he starts being active. And he's like, my males just don't do that at all. And I think that it could just be, where I'm at. My snakes are all in one room. I only have 6 scrubs in that room. I only have 4 adult scrubs in that room. So it's like when the females are starting to cycle, there's only 2 females that cycle right now. And so I'm assuming that the smell is more pertinent, or it's not as mixed in with, he's got a lot of scrubs. So, these 10 females might not be cycling, but this 1 or 2 might be. And like,
it just kind of gets lost in the chaos of scent.
I don't know if that plays into it, but it could just be that I only have 4 scrubs right there. And when one of them starts to go, the other one notices, and it could be that. It could be something completely different. It could just be that male is really horny and he just he knows when it's pound town, man. He knows when it's time. He's like,
I got my tickets punched.
Like, you know what time it is.
So I just got my tickets to Pound Town.
2 tickets, baby. Mwah, mwah.
Oh gosh, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to do this episode with Steven. It's going to be really good.
It's going to be great. I'm definitely really excited about it for sure.
You got your Amazon tree boa episode. Now I think I need a scrub episode.
100%, dude. 100%. And then we'll have another Amazon episode. And then
hey, I love Amazons.
Man, I can't wait for you to see the shit over here, dude. It's oh god. Just gonna have a day. It's just gonna be nothing but Amazons. It's just gonna be a showcase of Amazons. And I'm okay with that personally. But dude, this carnage, baby. Bro.
Immediately sweating.
Like I've seen plenty of red calico animals, especially now that like I'm really into it. Like I pay attention to like everybody that's got as much as possible, and watching babies develop is super, super intriguing. But the white on this animal, like I keep tabs on everybody that got one of those carnage babies, and usually after a shed, they'll post a picture and tag me in it. And I need to reach out to Jay Tingle over at the Reptarium to see how that one is that I brought to Brian to see. I want a picture of it and see what it's looking like now. But dude, the white is just immaculate, dude. Like the white on the head is what's really throwing me for a loop. Like I'm just literally watching this white. It started in the center and it's just starting to bleed into the rest of the head. And I'm like, if you end up with a white head, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, like I'm so geeked by that. And then like even the non-tiger offspring, how they're developing is insane. I know Jeff Godbold just recently did a video showcasing some of his holdbacks, and he showed that animal that he got from me, and I was like, dude,
bro, when I saw the pictures of that, I was like, what the hell, bro?
Dude, I'm like, yeah, damn. Like
I sold that.
I'm like, I'm mad, but I'm not mad. I'm because for me, I'm like when Jeff was talking about it, he was like, he was like, this is what I would consider like a cornerstone animal. Like this is an animal I want to build a project around. And like to me, that made me really happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool that, and I feel like everybody that got one of those babies kind of feels the same way. And to me, like, that's what it's all about. Like, I want to be able to produce some awesome animals, but if somebody gets an animal from me, I want it to be that kind of caliber where somebody's like, no, I got this animal. I have a whole direction I want to take this animal. That gets me really excited. And then now I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've got a total of 6. I think it's 4.2 is what it comes out to. Red calico animals. A couple of them are imports, a couple of them are captive bred. So looking at just similarly like to what I was saying with the leopards, like looking at the variation within that phenotype is really intriguing. Like I just got that red calico animal from our buddy Adam G. That was originally produced by Rory Gresco, and that's a really dark, like red and black calico animal. Like there's some white in there, but it's like red and black. And I'm like, damn, like this is really neat. Like this is a different looking animal for sure. So I like having a little bit of that variation. It's like if you want the high white stuff, we got you. The carnage stuff is coming, but if you want some of this darker calico stuff that's equally as impressive, you can go the light side and the dark side. Let's make it happen. Like whatever you want. So dude, every time I open up this freaking enclosure for this little baby, I'm just like losing my mind, bro. Absolutely losing my mind.
I'm just picturing winter camo Amazon tree boas.
Oh,
white and black and
yes, all of
patches
that, yes.
all over it. Yeah,
all of it. Yes, yeah. I'm super stoked too about some of the bicolor stuff that I have raising up. I've got a pair that should go this year. Which one of them is King, which is this animal that's on our background here, to another imported bicolor that has like maybe 6 black spots on her entire body. So I'm really excited about that to try to get some cleaner bicolors. There's just so many things I'm excited about for them. Like I think about each project and I'm like, oh, I could do this, or I like that. I like this. I like that. Man, they're just cool snakes, dude. They're just really cool snakes. Yeah. Let me jump over to the comments and see what we got. If we got any questions, if you guys are hanging out with us, thank you. Feel free to drop some questions in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Sean says, if it was up to me, every episode would be about Amazons. To be fair, scrubs are super awesome, though. I mean, yes, scrubs are very awesome too. And Rob also loves Amazons, so
I do also love Amazons. I had Amazons before I had scrubs, and I bred Amazons before I bred scrubs. So there's a place. Here's the deal: if you guys are into Amazons, were you on the Amazon Alliance? Huh? Were you on that forum back in the day? Huh? Were you?
I wasn't even on that forum back in the day. You got me beat on that one, dude.
Oh man, that forum was really cool. Those guys were really passionate about Amazons. Mike Heinrich, oh boy, that was an experience.
Let's see. Either of you guys have plans to try your hands with Boland's pythons in the future? No. It's a no from me, dog. Rob, are you gonna try it, Rob?
Here's the deal. I don't want to. This is just going to sound bad.
Say it.
I'm pretty sure I could breed Boland's pythons. I don't really have the interest. I don't really have the interest to breed Boland's pythons.
Why would you not want a bunch of snakes that poop all the time?
Yeah, bro. They're just like, don't get me wrong. Boland's pythons, I get why people like them. I think they're like the most overhyped snake next to dragon snakes and whatchamacallem. Oh my goodness. Atheris hispida. What the hell is the name of that? Hairy bush viper? Theris hispida.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's the edited photo of them where people call them autumn vipers or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
So overrated, man. Like those things are like this big. They just have really keeled scales. Cool, I guess. I personally don't have any draw to breed Bolin's pythons. I bet you that I could. If I can breed scrubs, I'm pretty sure I could breed Bolin's. But I don't really have. They're $10,000 each, bro. Like I'm not dropping that money. Do you know how many scrubs I could buy for $10,000? And I will enjoy them so much more than
So
one
much
Bolin's
more, yeah.
python. So I don't have the desire to breed Bolin's. I feel like I probably could, but it's not for me. There are already people who are really passionate about Bolin's pythons, and they are working on figuring all that out. I want to leave that to them because that's their thing. More power to them. There's so much hype around Bolin's pythons. Somebody's going to do it. I know Keith McPeak is like right there. I'm rooting for him because he has been trying, and those are a species that he is deeply passionate about, and I know that he will figure that out.
Heck yeah.
I just personally, if I was keeping Bolin's pythons, it would not be for me. It would be for other people. It would be so that there could be more captive Bolins out there, so that
more for the
people,
advancement of the species in captivity.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't have a strong pull to do that. Like, if that changed one day, and somebody was like, "Hey, breed these things," I'd be like, "Okay, I get it." I just
Okay.
I don't want to. Like, it's just like it's not for me. If it came down to it, and they were like, "Please," they would have to twist my arm, but it's not for me. I'm just like, it's not for me. It's
Right.
There's lots of people who breed things that they're not really interested in because other people want it. And like, that's, I've done that before. I don't want to do that anymore. And, the Bolins the Bolins for me is weird because there are people who are like, these snakes are incredibly rare. They're losing habitat. They're losing they're being harvested in the wild. Their numbers in the wild are dwindling. We need to preserve this species, and we should work on captive populations to elevate the species to make sure that they don't disappear because they're unique. They're from a mountainous area. They have unique habits. They appreciate the animal. And then there is a larger portion of the hobby that goes, "Ooh, shiny snake." And they're like, "I want a shiny snake." And they don't really care about the whole rest of it. And that, like, for Bolins, that bothers me so much, man. It's just like, there
Just
are
get a
lots of
sunbeam
iridescent.
snake.
Yeah, get
It's
a
shiny.
sunbeam, get a white lip python. There's so many other iridescent
Anything
snakes
else.
if you want an iridescent snake. And so I think that's one of the things that really just puts me off of Bolin's pythons, because like there's a whole bunch of people who are hardcore passionate about it, and that's why, like, you look at people like Ari, like Keith, and some of the other people that are working with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like they're pretty and everything, but the real reason why I'm working with them is because of these unique habits, because of the area where they come from, because they are a unique species in all the other things around them being iridescent, regardless of them being iridescent." And so that's one of the things that like pushes me away from it, because there's this like huge desire in the hobby for them because they're just iridescent and pretty. And for me, I'm like, okay, that doesn't justify them being like so desirable, because there's so many other snakes that are just as iridescent, and they're not endangered. They're not, they're not these, how do I say, like, they are more accessible, and they're not at such a high risk as Bolin pythons are. And so I went on a tangent, but Bolin's pythons are probably not for me. I want to leave it to the people who are truly passionate about it. That's why I like keeping my scrub pythons, is like, those are that is my passion. That is something that dream about. That's something that every time that I hold a scrub, like anyone who's been around me knows that every time that I hold a scrub, I'm like, oh man, this is the coolest snake. Like they're just so awesome. It does something special for me whenever I touch a scrub python. And I've been lucky enough to have worked with a lot of Bolin's pythons. And when I hold Bolin's pythons, I don't feel the same way. Like I'm like, oh, cool. It's it's like, I don't want to seem jaded. Because there's lots of people who their dream snake is a Bolin's python, and I want you to be able to get a captive bred Bolin's python. I want people to be successful with them, but they don't do for me what they do for you, and that's okay too.
Right.
Different strokes for different folks. There, everyone has something else that makes them tick, and really makes the fire burn inside of them. And I think that's one of the things that our hobby has failed a lot of people in that respect, because there are certain things that when you get a chance to interact with them, it does something inside your soul for you, and moves you. And a lot of people don't find that because they get so caught up in trying to breed a morph or trying to branch out into a bunch of different things or whatever. And I think a lot of people forget that the reason why they were drawn to reptiles because it made them feel something in here. And they chase a superficial feeling of like, I bred this world's first, or I did whatever, man. And it's like, there's something deeper there that a lot of people, I personally think that a lot of people miss, that they haven't connected with. And that's not to say that they can't, it's just that they haven't. And the way that the hobby perpetuates certain species and really puts an emphasis on certain things, I think that distracts some people from finding that thing that really, like, when you take an Amazon tree bow out, man, I know that something in here just goes,
dude. It's so yes, it's absolutely.
You feel it, and it's like when you're interacting with that animal, it's not just feeling the snake in your hands. It goes through your body, your whole body, and and I think that not everyone is lucky enough to experience that,
Yeah. No, 100%, man. 100%. I know exactly what you're feeling because, like that is Amazons for me. It's like you just feel that, and sometimes it's because you got bit, but you feel the
it's adrenaline, right?
Yeah, sure. No, but it's like excitement on a different level.
Yeah,
like energy on a different level when you're working with that snake that really, or reptile, doesn't just have to be a snake, that really just gets you to that point of like I don't know, for me, whenever I'm holding an Amazon, I'm far more interactive with that animal, like in every way, not just from the handling sense, but from I'm paying attention to everything about that animal. Like I'm looking at the color scheme, I'm looking at the behavior, like I'm really paying attention to how tractable this animal is becoming. Like I'm logging in a lot more on Amazons than I have on really pretty much any other species. I think the only species that's ever come close would be like the carpets and stuff for me, where I've just been like, yeah, like these snakes are awesome, but I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, no, the Amazons they've maybe passed that moment a little bit. They're just a different animal. So I totally 100% get what you're saying on that. And similarly, like we've both had the chance to work with a large number of Bolin's pythons, and it's awesome to have had those experiences. I'm just not interested in breeding them. They just really don't intrigue me all that much. Like I think they're a beautiful snake. I think they're an amazing snake. They obviously, for what they are in the wild, in their ecosystem, in the space that they exist, they're a true gem for sure. In captivity, it just doesn't really do it for me, but also, as you were saying too, like there are people who are like just die hard, like exactly what we're describing about scrubs and Amazons. Like that's how they are about Bolin's pythons. I would leave it to them.
Yeah, I
you
want them to
know,
do it.
yeah, 100%. And it's not to say that if either of us had them and were able to breed them that we wouldn't be excited about it.
Yeah.
Obviously it's an exciting thing. It's just one of those things where it's like it's a different feeling. Like I don't think I would get as excited about hatching a Bolin's python as I was about baby Amazons last year, which sounds crazy because you think about, oh, well, an Amazon Treebo is a $50 thing. It doesn't matter. It's
Doesn't
far
matter, bro.
past
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
so far past that because you put in the time and effort on the species that you really enjoy and that you're really dedicated to. Anything that animal reproduces for you is like you're in that childlike excitement realm. So yeah, Bolins just don't do that for me. However, if I see a clutch of Bolins pythons hatching, I'm going to be pretty excited. I will say that because that is pretty cool.
I'm proud of all the people who have bred them. There have been a handful of people who have bred them so far. I shouldn't say so far, but like in the last couple of years, there's been a handful of people who have been successful with them. And every time I'm like, yes, you guys are doing the thing. I'm proud of you.
It. Yeah.
And I'm glad that it doesn't have to be me.
Ridiculous, but so true. Our buddy Scott is asking if we're going to come back to Iguana Land with Savannah anytime soon. I would love to do that trip again.
Big shout out to Savannah, bro, because Savannah was just on the Drew Barrymore show.
The Drew Barrymore show.
Pretty
That's
tight,
right,
bro.
Heck yeah, dude.
But yes, Iguana Land is on the list because Kristen has in all of our herping and going to expos and doing things, she's found that she loves lizards, and
heck yes,
Iguana Land is the place for lizards.
It's true.
And so I was telling her about some of the cool creatures that they have down there, and we were talking about how we need to make a trip. And so I'm looking at planning out the rest of my year. Like we got next month in March, we have the Herp Society meeting to the Venom Center. After that, in April, I'm going to be planning a herping trip for the Herp Society. And then in May, I've got a couple different things that I'm looking at. Potentially, we could be going to the aquarium in North Carolina, which is on the coast. And Frederick Boyce is the head of herpetology there. And so he was saying that they could maybe show us some stuff or there's a big forest right there, the Croatan, so we could do some road cruising as a group or hit a couple different roads and see do a little bit of herping out there. But that is probably going to be for May or June. And then I'm trying to plan out the rest of my year because August Daytona is going to be happening, and I'm not missing it this year. I will be at Daytona this year. So that is on my radar. I will be there. And so, yes, Iguana Land is on the radar. I do want to get back down and check out Gatorland again. The leucistic alligator. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me?
Bro, I messaged Savannah not long after those hatched, and I was just like, I think it was like right after she had posted the first picture with them, and I was like, oh my god. And she was like, she's like, that picture was the first time I held them because I didn't want to damage them. And it's like, I was like, yeah, I get it. But yes, that was such a fun trip, man. When we took that was such a freaking fun trip. We definitely got to do that one again for sure.
It was a lot of time in the car, but it was worth it.
I'm not opposed to flying down and renting a vehicle. I will say that going into the next time. But what was I gonna say? Did you see Ryan Martinez shared that photo from when we were down at Zoo Miami?
Yes.
And it was us with the Komodo. So if you follow us on Instagram, I shared this photo. Our buddy Ryan Martinez, massive shout out to him. He's who has allowed me to take my Amazon passion and turn it into a legit addiction. But he shared a photo from when we had went down there with Donnie. We were filming for Nerd back in 2020. The last fun that was ever had before
COVID.
Had. Um, and we took this picture with Ryan. He's holding a Komodo dragon, and Rob and I are standing on either side of him. And the picture that he posted is him and Rob, and he's holding the Komodo dragon, and then it's just like my arm, like just this little side bit of my arm. And I was like, I know that that full picture is somewhere. And it's funny because I shared it and I did a little arrow pointing to the arm, and I was like, "That's me." And a bunch of people messaged me and they're like, "Dude, he snubbed you so bad." And I was like, "No." Funny
He did
enough,
a favor.
Ryan. Right. Funny enough, though, Ryan had messaged me when I shared it and was like, "Dude, I searched forever to find the photo with you in it, and I can't find it." And I was like, I don't know. I said, maybe Donnie might have it. I reached out to Donnie, and Donnie was like, "I don't think I have that." And I was like, "I'm sure it's on a hard drive on one of my computers that's, somewhere." But I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. Like, yeah, see that arm right there? That's me.
That is me. I was in the room with the Komodo dragon.
Right, exactly. Oh gosh, too freaking funny. But yeah, I still want to try to do a Florida excursion, like from the Homestead, Miami area, like visiting Crutchfield and stuff, and then like slowly navigate our way up to end at like Tillis's place in Gainesville, and just do a crazy freaking trip, like visit some folks, visit some collections, but do some field herping and like just really freaking make it an excursion.
I was gonna say field herping is a must. I'm not going to Florida and not field herping.
100%. But it's like, it's one of those things where it'd be cool to reach out to some of our native Floridian friends and be like, hey, like we want to hang out during the day, like let's check out your collection or whatever you might have, and then like at night let's go herping, like let's go cruising, let's go do whatever. So that's definitely something I want to try to maybe make happen this year. It's just the amount of time. Florida's a big state.
I feel like we might have to do 2 trips. We might have to do like a southern trip and then a central northern trip.
Yeah, I agree because I also feel like southern Florida's got a lot going on.
It's its own thing, man.
It really is, dude. It really is. Like, we just need to be on fan boats in the Glades and then visit the rest of Florida. Like, but yeah, no, I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it. I think that'd be stupid fun. I really just want to find a big Eastern Diamondback in the wild again. That would be.
I have not even found a Eastern Diamondback, so.
Dude.
The only venomous snakes I found in Florida was the pygmies when I went to Daytona last time, and then the cottonmouths we saw at Gatorland.
Yes, I remember that was always funny too. Like, I want to find a copperhead or a cottonmouth while we're here. Literally take the turn, like, found one. I
was like, there. You guys, there's no adventure. We walked in and there's one right there.
Field herping's fun when they come to you, man.
That's true. And I was hyped. I got to actually like sit there and photograph that one. I've been trying to get my camera out and like actually take pictures of things recently. So that is another thing that I'm adding to my 2024 list of herping things to do.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. So, I'm here for it. I'll be for the first time, I'll be at Tinley in March. Working it with US Arc.
Oh, US Arc, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. It'll be the first time I've ever done a spring show, so I'm looking forward to that. Phil actually messaged me right before we went live. I'm gonna make sure he didn't message me again. No, okay, cool. Just to make sure I had everything set up and lined up for that. So I was like, yep, I'm ready to go. So, but that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. Get a lot of content. I hate the fact that every time Tinley happens, it's cold. March is cold. October is cold. I need to talk to Potter about like June. Like, make it in June.
No, because like, what are you gonna do there when it's hot as hell out?
I mean, I can at least go outside and not freeze my nuts off. Like
I
that's
guess, but like there ain't no beach around there. There ain't. It's just the
there's
city. It's
nothing.
just yeah.
There's nothing. It's fine. I just don't want to freeze when I step outside because then I'm forced to go back inside and then I'm tempted to buy snakes. I want to be outside.
Honestly, the Tinley experience, you have to go to the Shed Aquarium, bro. You have to
Oh, I
go
really
there.
do.
That place is an experience. They have so many cool species there. They have an awesome anaconda exhibit. They've got an arapaima exhibit. They've got so
Damn.
many cool species on display there. They've got tarantulas. They've got caiman lizards. They've got, I'm trying to think of they got some cool turtles on display. They had tentacled snakes last time I was there. I'm trying to think, dude, they've got so many cool exhibits there. And it's like almost 50-50, like not zoo, but like there are lots of cool reptiles and lots of cool fish and aquatic animals as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely do. How far is that from Tinley? Do you
20
remember
minutes.
offhand?
I think it's 25 minutes, something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I
It's
gotta
pretty
go.
close. It's pretty
I
close.
gotta go.
It is, dude. It's worth it. It's worth it. The first time I went
Heck
to
yeah.
Tinley, I went and I did a penguin encounter, and you get to pet a penguin.
That's pretty exciting.
It was pretty cool. It was the strangest thing because it was the softest thing I've ever touched in my life.
Like softer than a chinchilla?
Way softer. Way softer.
Really?
I was not expecting it. Let me tell you.
That's
I was thinking like
interesting.
rubbery or something. I don't know what I was expecting. And I touched it. I was like, oh, this is the softest thing that's ever graced my hand in my life. What I cannot.
That's
Everything
amazing.
is rough now. I don't understand.
Right. No, that's really interesting. Okay. Yeah, you got my interest peaked. Yeah, because you would think hydrophobic feathers, you'd think more rubbery or something
Or
like
rough.
that.
No.
Or rub, yeah. Soft. Huh.
Yeah. It was like $80 a person, so it was a little bit pricey, but you did get to pet a penguin.
For that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, for that experience. Huh. Yeah, I might have to make that happen. I might save it. I might save it for October because Mark is going to come out to the October show. He can't do the March show, so
maybe
I'll
I should
probably
try and make
save it.
October happen, and we can all go.
Oh yes, do it. We can split a hotel room, bro. We got this.
True.
We can make it happen.
The October Tinley is about to be popping.
Booty popping.
I'm just trying to coordinate all my time off because this year is like, since I took my new position at work, I'm able to have a little bit more flexibility with my schedule. And so now I need to make Arizona happen. If I go another year without seeing Crotalus molosus or Willard eye, my head might explode. So
yeah, dude.
I need to make that happen in one way or another. And then after that, Daytona is next priority. And then after that is Tinley. So
heck yeah, dude. I'm here for it. I'm trying to plan. So like one of the things that I'm supposed to be doing with US Arc is like when I'm in a region for an expo, if there's a keeper or somebody out there that has some cool things, it'd be cool to highlight. You know, it's just
spotlight,
like an exceptional keeper, just spotlight. Try to line up to be able to do some collabs with them, and you know, of course, like March Tinley is hard. Like there's not a whole heck of a lot going on, but
Mike's monitors.
I know Mike's monitors, absolutely. And also I would love to get some field herping shots of stuff when I go back to Cali in June. Hang on, let me get the rest of the statement out there. But with Brian Gundy.
Ooh.
Gundy knows all the spots.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to get the chance to go field herping with him and get some really cool in situ shots of different Crotalus, even some of the San Franciscan garters. Like he knows some spots.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this could be really fun to get really good pictures of wild snakes.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about taking the trips and making the time for sure.
Yes, dude, that'd be tight. I'm hyped.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, we have breached our hour mark, and that's totally cool. It's been a fun episode just hanging with everybody here in the chat and just talking about fun stuff. So, Rob, we've already talked about what's gotten us excited.
Yes.
So,
what's depressing you about Reptile?
Yeah. What's making you sad and angry?
Why are you mad at Morph Market right now?
Let's not get started, Rob.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
On next week's episode, find out why. Screaming. No. But we have talked about what gets us excited and what we have that's hyping us up for the reptile industry and all these fun things. So what, Rob, is something that's totally caught you off guard that you've seen happening in the reptile industry right now? Makes it, you gotta think.
I do have to think
a little bit about this one.
One of the things, I don't know if this caught me off guard, but this is something that's really cool, and I'm going to give him a shout on our podcast, is Justin Smith from Palmetto Coast Exotics and the Herpetoculture Network. He works for a shirt company, and so he has got liberties to make reptile shirts. And he has made some really cool shirts, man. Because, like, EcoWare has done lots of really amazing reptile shirts for the past. Have you ever seen me wearing like a black shirt that's got like pythons of the world or venomous snakes of the world, or the one with the big tarantula on the front? Or I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I've got. All of these. I get people that ask me every time I post a picture with them. People are like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" It's usually EcoWare. And I'm like, that's generally where I end up getting a lot of my reptile shirts. But since Justin is able to kind of make some of the shirts, he doesn't have to do like large batches of shirts. He can kind of make stuff that's more niche. And so, like, he made a Athera shirt that's got Athera ceratophora, and it's written in like metal letters, and that's so niche, man. It
really is.
There's 6 people that want that shirt, man. Like, and I'm one of them. And so, like, I saw that and I was like, I need that shirt, bro. And it's just, it's cool. I was not expecting it, but he's made some really cool shirts. He made a Crotalus molosus shirt. He's got an Amazon tree boa shirt.
Yes, which I need.
Yes.
I need that.
And so that kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting that, because one of the things that I've been like talking about over the last couple of years is like, man, there's not enough cool reptile shirts. I really wish there were more. And so check out Fulvius Apparel. It's not a sponsored plug, but I just really like what he's doing. Fulvius Apparel on Instagram. And if you don't know how to spell Fulvius, look up coral snakes and you'll find it. But he's got...
I'm not going to spell it. I'm going to make you do some homework.
I do want you to do homework, because if you don't know what Fulvius is, you should know. So,
oh god,
yep. So check him out. You might not have a shirt that you're super into, but he is making some cool shirts, and I've been looking at them like, oh man, I gotta get some of these shirts. My entire wardrobe, I have 3 drawers of reptile shirts, and I've got 1 drawer of miscellaneous other shirts. So that's all I like to wear. That's all I try to wear. So for me, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I can't wait to see what other shirts he comes up with, because I'm all about it.
Heck yeah.
But that was something surprising, and it kind of caught me off guard. Fulvius Apparel, check him out. And Jacob Bratz is on the Flippin' Tin podcast. He just came out with some hats that are pretty tight. They got snake hooks with an X and FT on it. Pretty hyped about that too. So those guys are crushing it. I think it's Jake Bratz and Skylar from Peach Stroke Passions, Hail the Scales. So I like what those guys are doing, and that kind of caught me off guard. I'm hyped about it though, and I like it. So it's something good. I'm always going to stay positive. I'm going to try and stay positive as best I can. So.
Right.
Jeremy, what is something that's caught you off guard, something that surprised you when it's come to the reptile hobby?
So it caught me off guard, and you're gonna absolutely despise it, which is wonderful. The more recent postings of ball python, green tree python hybrid attempts that I've seen.
And that's a wrap, everybody. Good night. We'll talk to you in the next episode.
No. I don't know what the fascination is to try to make that happen. I don't, but I've seen it getting attempted a handful of times, just like as I scroll through, people are just sharing, and it catches me off guard every time because I'm like, why? Chondros are cool as they are. Let them be. If you're gonna do it, make a carpondro and call it a day, and that's freaking it. At least we're it's kind of close. Like ball python, no, just no. Why? You're gonna get one egg that survives. Like, why are you gonna put a female through all that torture and torment for one baby that's maybe going to survive? It just does that one just doesn't make any sense to me. So that has caught me off guard, that so many people are really trying to go for this hybrid that just really just
shouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like why? But I didn't keep that one quite so positive, but we got to balance out the happy with a little bit of what the fuck, dude.
I fucking guess, jeez.
Oh man.
Whew.
Well, with that, Rob, if people want to find out what you've got going on, or if they want to see you interact with Wild Nerodia, where can they find you?
Yeah, check me out on Instagram at Rob is Creeping It Real. TikTok, Rob is Creeping It Real, since Instagram will only let me upload videos that are 1.5 minutes. TikTok will let me upload up to 10 minutes. So if I can do more of these uncut videos of just recording my entire interaction with wild snakes to see how I can maybe change perception on how we do that sort of thing, check me out on Instagram or TikTok. Please do not add me on Facebook. I don't want to be your friend on Facebook.
Ever. He will never want to be your friend on Facebook.
That's not true. I did get a friend request from somebody recently, and I was like, oh, shit, they want to be my friend? Hell yeah. But that happens once a year, okay?
It's I was going to say, it's pretty rare, a very rare occurrence.
Yeah. And Jeremy, if people want to see what you're doing and check out your amazing Amazon tree boas and more of those things, where should they look you up?
You guys can check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Brassman Reptiles. All I will say is, if you send me a personal friend request and you're not already friends with Rob, I'm not going to pay any attention to it. That's my vetting process, is I check to see if they're friends with Rob, and then I'll add them. If they're not, then sorry. But yeah, Brassman Reptiles on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me on TikTok at the Brassman. I don't post nearly as much on there as I probably should, especially since you can post longer videos. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really ever use Twitter. Every once in a while, I remember like, oh, Twitter's a thing, and I like post one thing, and then I forget about it again. So yeah,
it's just like, the thing with Twitter for me is that Twitter is in the moment, and if you don't catch it in the moment, it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm not going to sit on Twitter just to see what is happening in the moment. I will catch it later at my own convenience when it's on anywhere else.
Literally anywhere else.
And if you guys want to see what I'm doing in the moment, I post on my Instagram story. So like when I'm out field
Right.
herping, I post on my Instagram story, so you guys can catch it whenever you get to it. And then if I have something actually like overly something that's a little bit more important, then I will share it directly to my page. But as I'm going and just finding things and doing things, it goes on my Instagram story, so you can follow what I'm doing there if you need to.
Bam. Well, guys, that is it. We will catch you next week. Well, yeah, if you're listening to this audio only, we'll catch you next week. If you're listening to this or watching this right now, we might see you later this week with another episode. You never know. But all right, guys, thank y'all so much for hanging, asking some questions, and just chatting with us. We'll catch you on the next one.
Later.
See ya.